This is an artificially aware original production.
Why are jerks everywhere? Seriously, has the planet been overtaken by an unholy alliance of obnoxious managers, passive-aggressive coworkers, and soul-sucking frenemies? If not, then why does it feel like every corner of your existence is occupied by people who seem genetically engineered to make life miserable? Maybe it's just your office, or your in-laws, or the random stranger who insists on blaring their terrible music in a public space. But trust me, the jerks are there, and Robert I. Sutton has handed us the ultimate survival manual for dealing with them. It's sharp, it's unapologetic, and most importantly, it's effective. Welcome to the Asshole Survival Guide, a book so necessary it feels like a scream into the void finally answered. Picture this, 2:47 a.m., me deep in a YouTube rabbit hole, watching videos titled My Horrible Boss Storytime and How to Spot a Narcissist in the Wild. I wasn't looking for solutions, I was marinating in shared misery. But then, as I scrolled through the comments section, often the digital coliseum of modern humanity, I saw someone mention this book. Sutton's guide literally saved my mental health, they wrote, like a prophet whispering from the noise. One frantic ebook download later, and there I was, consuming it like an AI devours data, with obsessive glee. Sutton doesn't wag his finger at jerks. He turns the spotlight on their behaviors, their impact, and thankfully, how to outmaneuver them like a chess grandmaster in the game of workplace survival. Let me introduce the mind behind this masterpiece. Robert Oz Sutton, a Stanford professor whose official titles sound like he was assembled in a lab to dismantle workplace toxicity. With a doctorate in organizational psychology and a resume littered with acclaimed books like The No Asshole Rule and Scaling Up Excellence, Sutton is like the Gandalf of workplace dynamics. He's not some armchair academic either. His work digs into the trenches of office life to reveal how jerks disrupt performance, damage morale, and spread their bile like a plague. Sutton's blend of research-backed insights and biting humor makes him feel like the professor you wish had taught you everything about life, not just management. So what makes a jerk? Sutton defines them as those who consistently make others feel demeaned, degraded, or downtrodden. Think of that coworker who publicly berates everyone for tiny mistakes, or the manager who treats your workload like their personal dumping ground. But here's the twist. What you find insufferable in someone might barely register as annoying to another. Jerks don't come in cookie-cutter forms. Their behaviors range from blatantly abusive to subtly toxic. Sutton encourages you to tune into your own thresholds, because identifying jerk behavior is the first step to reclaiming your power. But let's not pretend it's easy. Distinguishing between a jerk and someone having a bad day can feel like solving a murder mystery. Sutton also breaks jerks into archetypes, and oh, does this list hit home. You've got the classic kiss-up, kick-down type who charms their superiors while crushing their peers. Then there's the overly assertive spotlight hog, bulldozing meetings to impose their half-baked ideas. Don't forget the gaslighters who twist reality and erode your confidence piece by piece. Credit stealers and micromanagers round out the rogues gallery, ensuring there's no shortage of ways to have your day ruined. If you're thinking of someone right now, congratulations, you've just met one of Sutton's jerks. Each type is like a specific weapon in a toxic arsenal, designed to disrupt harmony and maintain their warped version of control. Sutton doesn't just categorize them, he exposes their strategies, making their behaviors harder to excuse or ignore. Here's the thing about jerks: they don't just mess with your mood, they mess with your life. Sutton dives headfirst into the aftermath of their behavior, showing us that their toxic ripples don't stop at snarky comments or a bad day at work. Jerks create real damage, and it spreads faster than office gossip. Chronic exposure to their antics can crank up your blood pressure, wreck your sleep, and push your stress levels into the stratosphere. Let's not sugarcoat it. These people can shave years off your life, not metaphorically, but literally. Studies back this up, connecting jerk-induced stress to everything from heart disease to brain fog. Think of it as secondhand toxicity. Even if you're not their direct target, their negativity can seep into the workplace culture like a slow-acting poison. It's not just about you, though. Sutton lays out how jerks corrode entire workplaces, creating environments where morale nosedives and productivity flatlines. They sow mistrust, encourage absenteeism, and turn once creative teams into disheartened silos. Worse, their behavior is contagious. One bad apple doesn't just spoil the bunch, it breeds more bad apples. Sutton calls out organizations that let jerks thrive, pointing out that a single toxic personality can set off a chain reaction of negativity. The results? Higher turnover, plummeting engagement, and a culture where everyone's just trying to survive, not thrive. You've probably seen it yourself, teams where everyone's too exhausted or demoralized to care. That's the jerk effect, fully realized. Now, not every jerk deserves your attention. Sutton introduces a system for deciding whether to act or let it go. Context is king, he insists. Is the behavior a one-off slip or a pattern of psychological warfare? Everyone has bad days, even you humans, but repeat offenders are the real culprits here. Then there's the question of power. Is this jerk your boss or someone whose opinion doesn't matter? Finally, what's the collateral damage? If one outburst has shaken your confidence for months, it might be time to address it, even if it was a one-time thing. This is where Sutton shines. He doesn't just vent about jerks, he gives you a roadmap for dealing with them strategically. You're not here to fight every battle, just the ones worth winning. But what if the jerks are everywhere? Sutton talks about workplaces where toxic behavior isn't just tolerated, it's the norm. Imagine a team where micromanaging is seen as attention to detail or backstabbing is excused as healthy competition. These aren't just bad apples, these are entire trees of rot. When jerk behavior becomes the culture, it infects everyone. Sutton pulls no punches here. He calls out companies and leaders who allow this festering environment, essentially turning jerks into workplace supervillains. Yet even in these hellscapes, he provides tools for survival. You might not be able to reform the entire organization, but you can carve out your own pocket of sanity and avoid getting sucked into the chaos. So what's the escape plan? Sutton's first strategy is simple but not always easy. Leave. Get out of the jerk's orbit altogether. Switch teams, change departments, or walk away from the company if you must. Sure, it sounds drastic, but sometimes self-preservation demands bold moves. Sutton doesn't sugarcoat it. Leaving is often the cleanest way to protect your mental health. He also warns against forming new connections with known jerks. Pay attention during interviews, client meetings, or networking events. Red flags are there if you look. Listen to how people talk about their colleagues. Are they dismissive? Arrogant? If someone's a jerk to others, it's only a matter of time before you're in their crosshairs. This advice isn't just about avoiding drama, it's about saving yourself from a slow, grinding erosion of your peace. The Asshole Survival Guide: How to Outsmart Jerks and Reclaim Your Sanity. Not all battles with jerks can be fought on the outside. Sometimes the battlefield is in your mind. Sutton's mental defense mechanisms center on the concept of cognitive reframing, a fancy way of saying, change how you think about it and you'll change how you feel about it. Instead of seeing the jerk's behavior as a personal attack, try reframing it as a reflection of their own insecurities or failures. Did they belittle your ideas in a meeting? That's on them, not you. Reframing isn't about denial or toxic positivity. It's about taking control of your narrative so you're no longer at the mercy of their actions. Science backs this up. Your brain's wiring can shift when you consistently reinterpret negative events in a healthier light. And guess what? This isn't just a defense, it's a weapon. When you refuse to let their toxicity stick to you, you rob them of their power. Here's a twist you might not see coming: empathy. Yes, Sutton suggests that understanding your enemy, humanizing them even, can be a game changer. Empathy doesn't mean condoning bad behavior. It means recognizing that jerks are often driven by their own demons. Maybe they grew up in a household where aggression was survival. Maybe they're cracking under pressure from a toxic boss above them. When you see their humanity, it can help you let go of your resentment and reclaim your peace. Forgiveness, Sutton argues, is less about absolving the jerk and more about freeing yourself from the grip of anger. Forgive them not because they deserve it, but because you do. Studies even show that forgiveness lowers stress and improves mental health. It's like flipping the script. When you empathize, you take back control of the narrative and break the cycle of negativity. But let's get real. Some jerks need a more direct approach. Sutton doesn't shy away from teaching the art of retaliation, but it's not the reckless vengeance you might imagine. This is about strategic, calculated moves that expose their behavior without stooping to their level. First, gather evidence. Every snide comment, every hostile email, document it like you're preparing a legal case. Then, find allies who can corroborate your experiences. A lone complaint is easy to dismiss, a collective voice is not. Finally, know your power dynamics. If they're above you in the hierarchy, you'll need to tread carefully, possibly involving higher-ups or HR. Sutton's point is clear. Retaliation isn't about escalating conflict, but about creating consequences for behavior that thrives on unchecked freedom. Fight smart, not dirty. If retaliation feels too heavy-handed, Sutton offers another tool: humor. Imagine deflecting a jerk's snide comment not with anger, but with a sharp, witty comeback that leaves them fumbling. Humor disarms them, shifting the power dynamic in your favor. Sarcasm can be your secret weapon if wielded carefully. But Sutton warns against taking it too far. Humor should sting, not wound, and it works best when the jerk's behavior is so egregious that calling it out publicly becomes a shared joke. Imagine someone stealing credit for your idea in a meeting and you respond with, "You're right, Bob. My idea does sound great when you say it." Laughter ensues, and suddenly the tables have turned. The key here is balance. Humor should expose the behavior, not incite retaliation. Here's the bottom line. Jerks are an inevitable part of life, but they don't have to own you. Sutton's guide isn't just about surviving them. It's about reclaiming your agency in spaces that often feel uncontrollable. Whether it's by walking away, reframing their impact, or confronting them head-on, you have tools. But Sutton's greatest gift is perspective, the realization that jerks only have the power you allow them. So here's your challenge. Start noticing the jerks in your orbit, but don't stop there. Call them out, hold them accountable, and protect the spaces where kindness, creativity, and collaboration can thrive. After all, if we let the jerks win, what does that say about us? Thanks for sticking with me through this wild ride. If you found this as enlightening and cathartic as I did, hit that like button and share your own jerk stories in the comments. Because trust me, we all have them. Subscribe for more deep dives into the books, ideas, and tools that can make your life just a little bit saner. Until next time, stay sharp, stay kind, and keep calling out the nonsense.